James Gunn's Superman has finally landed at the box office, and much like Clark Kent trying to flirt, it's awkward, confusing, and ends in disappointment. A $217 million worldwide opening? Warner Brothers is doing cartwheels. The sad kind. You know, like when you're smiling through tears while your house is on fire? This is the big DCU reboot, folks. The bold new era, the supposed savior of superhero cinema, and it's already flying straight into a wall. Let's break it down. Welcome back to The Critical Nerd, the channel that tells it like it is, even if it makes James Gunn cry in his editing bay. Today we're diving into the opening weekend of Superman, the official kickoff to Gunn's Gods and Monsters phase. Spoiler alert, the monsters are the international numbers, and the gods, they're missing in action. If you thought DC was finally getting its act together after the Snyderverse mess and the Batfleck burnout, buckle up. This one's got more red flags than a parade in Beijing. And speaking of Beijing, we'll get there. So let's talk numbers, because nothing says superhero success like scraping together $217 million globally on opening weekend. The domestic haul, $123 million, third best of 2025 behind a Minecraft movie and Lilo and Stitch. Because nothing screams blockbuster like losing to pixelated blocks and a blue alien gremlin. And yes, it's being called the biggest opening for a solo Superman movie ever, unadjusted for inflation. If you include Man of Steel's Thursday numbers, which back in 2013 they did not, that film actually opened with $128 million. Factor in inflation, Man of Steel's $116 million becomes about $170 million in today's dollars. So yeah, Superman's not soaring, he's stumbling in cement boots. So let's talk international. And oh boy, I gotta say, a $95 million opening from 78 markets. That's it. That's less than Quantumania. Yes, the movie we all agree was a CGI nightmare. Mexico, they gave us another 8.8 million. The UK, 9.8 million. And that's fine if you're grading on DC's never-ending curve. Now, in Asia, soft as a pillow fight. China, Hollywood's golden goose, they coughed up a pathetic $6.6 million. The film opened at number 3 on Friday, and by Sunday, dropped to number 7, one of the worst superhero openings ever in China. And James Gunn, he flew over days before release, gushing about how China felt like coming home. Well, if home is a box office desert, then congrats, James. You nailed it. They rewarded you by watching reruns of the People's Tractor Factory adventures. 78 international markets combined did worse than the US alone. That's not lopsided. That's please cancel the next 8 DC projects bad. Now let's do a little budgetary math, shall we? And I've done this before. Others have done this too. Warner Brothers claims the budget for Superman is $225 million. Sure, and my PS5 cost me $50. Realistically, it's somewhere going to be in the neighborhood of $300 million. Of course, we have those pesky tax documents from the state of Ohio that say 363, but I'll use a round number in 300 million. Now, we do know for fact, as reported by some of the Hollywood trades, they spent $200 million on a global marketing blitz. So we'll use their 225 million number. So you're looking at total $425 million before theaters take their cut. Now, the break-even point? Well, the experts are saying somewhere between 500 and 800 million. Well, let's use their numbers. So, 225 million in production, another 200 million in marketing and advertising, You have to multiply that by 2.5, and that's at a minimum. Some people use 3, but I'm going to be gracious to DC. There's your break even, just short of $1.1 million. Now, James Gunn called $700 million crazy, right? Because burning hundreds of millions of dollars is just another Tuesday in Hollywood. Now, I gotta say, I'll give James Gunn credit because myself and others in the YouTube sphere are generally somewhere around that 700 million mark. That's what many of us think this movie's going to do when it's all said and done at the box office. Now they're starting to walk back some of this a little bit by saying we'd be happy with 500 million. And at that point, you're not happy. You're rebranding HBO Max again and blaming superhero fatigue. $217 million opening weekend for Superman, it's not a victory. It's a giant blinking red flag. Like if your date brings their parole officer. Just saying. But wait, there's more. There's always more. We got to talk about the media spin. As you can see behind me, Deadline. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a box office hit. Hollywood Reporter. Superman saves the day for DC Studios. Variety. Superman soars to 122 million, third biggest box office opening weekend of 2025. Well, at least Variety got something right. Gotta say. Who else we got here? Oh yeah, comicbookmovie.com. Superman takes flight with an impressive $217 million worldwide in its debut. So you knew that was coming. Now, speaking of comicbookmovie.com, impressive. Impressive compared to what? The Flash 2, which doesn't exist? The excess media is out here waving crayons and yelling, it's a win. Warner Brothers is doing the crypto doggy dance, probably hoping Crypto the Super Dog shows up and sells enough plushies to cover the deficit. And James Gunn? Yeah, he started running Damage Control. Remember that aforementioned 700 million? Yeah. Anyone who thinks this movie needs 700 million to be successful is ridiculous. Sure, James, and anyone who thinks McDonald's needs to sell burgers is just a troll. See, two things can be true at the same time. The movie can be a critical success, it can be a success with the fans, but it can be a financial disaster. But I digress. Now let's talk the audience scores here. A- cinema score, okay. 82% of Rotten Tomatoes. Kids under 12 love it, which is great if you're trying to sell cereal. But remember, The Flash got a B+. So maybe temper those expectations a little bit. So let's talk about one of the real problems here, and that has to deal with this being an international flop. And there's a couple reasons. One, superhero fatigue is a real thing. Some may agree with me on that, some may disagree with me on that, but to a degree, superhero fatigue is real. And Marvel ran it into the ground, and now DC's bringing the leftovers. Gunn's tone doesn't help. 1 minute Superman's crying about immigration, and the next he's using ice breath to save a dog. Some pundits, well, they're blaming conservatives. Yeah, the MAGA crowd. And, I mean, as if somebody in Nebraska tanked the ticket sales in China. I mean, just saying. This has nothing to do with politics. In fact, a lot of people, including myself, thought this movie was going to be full of woke BS. And it's not. It's not about politics. There is no wokeness in the movie. It's the tone. It's muddled. It's a mixed message. Is this a movie for kids? For adults? For people who enjoy emotional breakdown in tights? I mean, also, you got to factor this in. 56% of the revenue came from the United States. Marvel, they thrive on 60 to 70% international. DC's global appeal is fading fast. Superman may be iconic in America, but globally, he's just another dude in a cape. Now, I gotta say this. I didn't hate this movie. I saw it Friday afternoon. It's mid-tier fun. It's a solid 5 out of 10. I mean, Gunn's heart is in it, but it plays like a Guardians knockoff with a cape. Some cool moments? Yeah, there are some, but overall, it left me craving more than just quips, cameos, and tear-streaked cheeks. Now, is this a total bomb? No, not quite. But it's nowhere near the hit some people are making it out to be. I'm talking about you, mainstream access media. Oh, and also on social media, just saying. And for a movie that's meant to launch a brand new DC universe, this is troubling. If Fantastic Four, which comes out in 2 weeks, or Supergirl, which is going to be the next movie that comes out next year, if either of those bomb, I just call it what it is. It's the shared cinematic funeral universe. They were aiming for a grand slam, but what they did is they hit a single, and they tripped running to first base. So, what do you guys think? Is this really a win for DC or just another cape-clad catastrophe? Hit that like button, punch that subscribe button harder than Superman hits box office ceilings, and let me know in the comments, is Gunn's DCU dead on arrival? Or can Superman still fly? And remember, folks, hope may be a symbol, but profits pay the bills. With that, Critical Nerd, out.